Hi, Mermaid Junkies. How are you? I hope that you're doing well. I took a hiatus for the last week, and the reason is because I was really having some contrasting moments, and I didn't know what to do. Well, I actually knew what to do, but it just requires, very devoted and focused self-care. And so I really felt that it was important to work on that for myself. And I'm going to tell you what it was, because I think that that's the only way that we learn is from personal life experiences, right? And so I never want for you to think that I'm ever going to like shoot videos every day if I'm not really inspired to shoot the video, because I think sometimes people have a tendency to just want to put out content, and I'm not like that. I would rather put out content that really means something to me, or I've experienced it, and so that's why I've struggled with it. And so I think that it reaches more people and helps to it really helps. Anyway, so the one thing what I wanted to talk about is are feeling like, I guess what it is not feeling guilty and not feeling like that we have to always have a happy face. And that's not to say that, well, if that was the case, Raquel, well, then why didn't you shoot videos when you were having a difficult time or whatever? And it wasn't a super difficult time. Like, it wasn't like I was in bed crying every day or anything like that. It's just that, when like you follow law of attraction and your energy and your vibration is a little bit off. And I know what it had to do with, because I didn't meditate for like 4 days. And that really has a huge impact on my psyche, if I don't do that. And it's like, oh, I don't have time to do it. And it's like, but you don't have time not to do it, Raquel. And so I think that's one thing that I realized. The other thing that I realized is that I'm still struggling with little remnants of self-worthiness. And I think that it stems from, long amounts of time and being programmed and conditioned to have these belief systems about not wanting to hurt someone's feelings. Or have you ever felt like that? Like someone wants you to do something, and anyway, so that's exactly what happened. Someone asked me to do something this weekend, and it was a family member, and it was something that I didn't want to do, but I didn't want to say that I didn't want to do it, because I didn't really have an excuse for why I didn't want to do it. I just didn't want to do it. And I think that that's really difficult for people sometimes, because we have a tendency, I don't know if you're like this, but I'm like this, is I have a tendency I've always had this reoccurring thing to where if I don't want to do something, or I don't want to confront a situation or something, I'll just retreat and like just go radio silent, And so I'm still trying to finagle through and work through those inner self-worth issues that may be what it's stemming from, because it's like, how many times do we do things out of guilt, obligation, we feel bad if we don't do it, and knowing we don't want to do it, And so that was the thing, is that I just was like, you know what? I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do. And I've been a very big proponent of that after, practicing the law of attraction. And there's still some times that you feel like people put mental pressure on you to like, especially people that don't practice the law of attraction, they're very much don't understand. Like, they expect you to have a certain protocol. And if you sway from that, or you don't do something that they want you to do, and it doesn't, you decide not to do it, which creates like this momentum of, okay, why aren't you doing this? And so if we don't do the certain particular thing that we've been asked or guilted into doing, or made to feel bad if we don't, or obligated to do it, that we have a tendency to look at certain things in life still on a conditional basis. Like, do this thing, because if you don't do this thing, it's going to make me feel bad. And I need to feel good, so you need to do this thing. And then when you don't do it, and they're left with their own particular inner being, and I don't know how to explain this. If you don't end up doing the task or whatever someone expects you to do, and it could be a family member, it could be a spouse, it could be children, it could be anybody, a boss or whatever, and you don't do it, there's a tendency for them to have conditions on you. And when you don't do it, then they withdraw certain things from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm feeling very much disapproval with you right now. And it's kind of like stems back to our childhood. Have you ever noticed that like a mommy will condition a child to do what they want? And as long as the child reciprocates in the same manner, like, okay, this is a well-pleasing thing and the mother is appreciative of that and they want that, like you're performing in a particular way, you get accolades for that. But as soon as you start doing something that you want to do and you're not doing what your parent would want you to do, all of a sudden they're going to withdraw love from you, or they're going to make you feel like, what are you doing? You're supposed to make me happy. So as long as you make me happy, I'm happy. But so many times we don't do that. I mean, so many times we do that and we hurt our own feelings. And that's what I felt like was happening this weekend, is that I was being almost coerced or made to feel like there was a lot of mental pressure on me to do something that I really didn't want to do. And so I just completely went silent because I wanted to be in the right headspace when I spoke to this particular person that asked me to do this particular task. And I know that sounds like, maybe it kind of sounds way out there or whatever, but I think you can relate to me as far as like feeling like it's okay for us to say no and smile while doing it. And how many times, especially with somebody like me, that I'm a very sensitive, emotional person, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm actually embrace it now, but it can be very daunting sometimes when you're, expected to do certain things, or you're obligated to do certain things, and certain people need things from you, and you don't want to do it. Then you're kind of like shunned in a way, if that makes any sense. And so I was just like, I'm still working through that and trying to figure out what would be my best strategy for trying to overcome this particular belief system, because I'm starting to think everything that's happening to us in our life is a reflection of something that we're doing. You don't realize it, but you think, oh, this person, if this person would change the way that they're doing this particular thing, then I would be happy. But once again, we're expecting someone else to change a condition in order for us to be happy. And we have to be able to take accountability and responsibility for every action that we take, because it is nice to blame other people, like, oh, this situation wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for so-and-so. And if they wouldn't have done this, then this wouldn't have happened, and so-and-so and so-and-so, right? But I think what it is we're just so conditioned through beliefs as young children that we have become accustomed to just doing things out of guilt, and then we're pissed at them because they've asked us to do something, but instead of saying no, we get mad at them because we're secretly angry at them for doing it, when all we needed to probably do was just say, no, I don't feel like doing that, I don't want to do it, and not to have an excuse. Because that's another thing, is people want you, okay, well, why? Well, why aren't you going to do it? I need you to do this. Why can't you do this? And if you don't have an excuse, then it's like, because I don't want to, that's not good enough. Have you ever noticed that? It's never good enough. You need to have a reason. And I truly, truly believe, you guys, that that's the reason people lie all the time. Because we would rather not tell them the truth, because we think in the aftermath it's going to be better for them if they don't know the truth, right? Because it would hurt them if they knew the truth. And I wonder sometimes that if there's a fine line between that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is the fine line between just completely being, responsible for your own self-care and that inner soul work, which is what I needed to do. And I still haven't figured out everything in this ebbs and flows of try to not, to try and understand how I can deal with this particular thing, like when these situations occur, to not feeling, being able to say no, but then beat myself up for 3 days because I said no when I just didn't want to do it. And so I would rather make myself feel bad than to compromise having other people care about, the reason that I didn't do something, and then you think, oh my gosh, they're going to talk about me, or they're going to say this about me, or going to like me as much or whatever. And so I'm so into the whole thing of like energy is everything. And so I think what I'm learning to recognize is that when I say no, then line up with saying no and not have to feel like, you know what, you need to respect my answer. And I don't have to give a reason why I don't want to do something. I just don't want to do it. And I'm not going to hurt my feelings to make up for not wanting to hurt your feelings, because you want me to change something about myself to hurt my feelings in order to make you feel better. And so once again, it's just such a conditioning way of life, and it's so tough sometimes when other people don't understand the law of attraction and they don't understand frequency and vibrational energy and all that kind of stuff. And like, I'm just all into that inner work and that inner self-love and self-care. And so that is really what I was working with over the past week, and I'm still working on it. Obviously, you can tell, but I just wanted to stop in with you guys and share what was going on, and just let you know how much I love you and how much I appreciate you guys standing by me and being excited and anticipatory of new videos. I know I've had a lot of people say, where's our videos every day, Raquel, because I haven't put out videos in a week. And so I just wanted to check in with you and let you know that was what I was trying to navigate through over the past week, and that just to remember to care about yourself and your own inner soul and your inner being before you care about hurting other people's feelings. Because ultimately what's going to happen is that if we continually do that and hurt our own feelings, we're going to be angry, and we can be angry at the other person, but it's really not about them. It's really about us, because we should have been able to have that sense of self-confidence to say no to begin with. So if you struggle with that, I completely understand. Let me know if you've had any situations that's happened, and practicing the law of attraction and not wanting to hurt people's feelings, especially like family, can be really difficult. The people that are like really up close and right in front of you, you can't get away with things. You have to, you can keep pushing them under the rug, but they're going to keep resurfacing. You know what I'm saying? And so, I knew that was what was happening. So I thought I really need to do this inner soul work to really come to an understanding within what's going on within Raquel, within myself, And so I hope this helped. I don't know if it did help at all, but I just wanted to let you know how much I love you, how much I appreciate you, and I will talk with you soon. As always, I'm yours until my next swim. Ciao!